If you want to improve your students' reading abilities and create better test scores, then literacy leadership is essential. Here's how to do it. Hi everybody, I'm Lee Hall from Literacy Teachers, and I'm all about giving you the tools you need to inspire, motivate, and change how students read and write for academic success. Today we're talking about how you can create an amazing vision for literacy leadership and how you can be a literacy leader in your school. So the first thing to know is that, as a leader, you can probably look around and very easily see a lot of areas that need improvement. Both in terms of the instruction that you provide, maybe the instruction that your colleagues provide, and even just the help, the day-to-day help that your students need. So where do you start, okay? So it's easiest to sort of get everybody together and be able to lead the charge if you start with data. So it's really easy to get everybody on board, or it's a lot easier to get everybody on board if you've got some data that point out some specific problems, okay? Because it's very difficult to argue with data. People can't say, hey, that's just your opinion, right? So if you can, sort of start your leadership by thinking about what does the data show where we need to improve either our instruction or how our students need to improve, and maybe we need to improve our instruction, maybe we just need to refine it or target it better. Let's start with the data, all right? Now, once you get the data, again, you might see that there's all kinds of things that your students need in terms of, improving their reading and writing abilities. And you can't do that. And you can't ask people, obviously, to address everything at once, because then, as you know, nothing will get done well. So what do? I would suggest that you start with 2 to 3 data points that clearly show where growth is needed, but also that you think that you could have some success with, right? Because you want people to not just get behind the problem, but you want people to know, hey, collectively together, we can really solve this problem or make a significant difference with this problem. So just pick a couple of places to start first and then go from there, right? Because you can't do everything at once. Now, once you have identified some of these problems, you've rallied everybody together, you've got the data, you want to create some long and short-term goals as a staff. So by long-term goals, these can be things that take a semester or half a year, or that might take the whole year that you're working on. And then you want to create some short-term goals. And short-term goals are things that might be one marking period, or they could even be 1 month. They could even be, what do you want to do this week, or what are you going to be doing this day, right? So short-term goals can be thought of in a number of ways, right? Like you could sort of map out, obviously your short-term goals are going to help you achieve your long-term goals, but you can sort of map out with your short-term goals where you want to be, for example, in a month, and then break that down. What do I need to do this week? What do I need to do this day to accomplish these short-term goals, which will then help me accomplish my long-term goals? Now, within all of this, professional development is critical, okay? And as a literacy leader, you might be a top teacher in your building, you might be a reading specialist, you might be a principal, but as a leader, you should be learning with the teachers that you work with, okay? So this is particularly true for principals, because as a principal, you may not have a strong literacy background. That just might not be what where you got a lot of classes when you were getting your certification, and that's okay. But now you want to make sure that you're in some of this professional development with the teachers who are also in the professional development, so that you understand what kinds of support needs to happen so that they can meet their long-term goals. Now, as you're moving through this, as you're moving through the year, you always want to be sharing what you're learning and teaching one another. And you can do this however you want. You can do this at staff meetings where everybody's there. You can do it at team meetings, right? Grade level meetings. Doesn't matter. You can configure it however you want. But you want to be sharing the data that's showing how you are not progressing with your long-term goals. You want to have people sharing the instructional practices that they're using so that other people can, hear about those and benefit from those. You also want to have people sharing what they're getting from the professional development. What professional development did you take? How did it help you? What did you learn? How are you implementing it? How can we help you implement it? So you want to provide regular opportunities. I would say once a month is probably plenty, where people can share what they're learning and get feedback and on how to improve the instruction in their classroom and move their students forward. So, and of course, as you're doing all of this, you're documenting your progress, you're recrafting your goals as needed, and you're setting new ones so that you can help students evolve into the kinds of readers and writers that you want them to be and that they want to be, so that they can achieve academic success. So If you like this video, follow me on over to the next one. Let's go.